Hey folks, over on the bench, quick response to Josh and Jeremy about ways to build a lab. Just your little computer lab, so to speak. One of the things I've been exposed to most of my life is DIN You see this a lot in telco, in data center, and in industrial applications. And I've talked about this before, DIN rail. Basically the piece snaps on the rail and it just clicks in. Now you have a sturdy mount. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. It's just my preferred method. You just come along, you need to add something in place. It clips over and snaps down onto the DIN rail wherever you have mounted the rail. I worked with Jeff and Jeremy to build up their little stack similar to this for his home, but apparently they want now, a little more capability, a little more vertical space. So one of the options you could do if you don't want to invest in DIN, and DIN rail is not terribly expensive, but sometimes these little backer boards are, or this type, based on the circuit board with the rail mounts on it. Can be kind of pricey, can be rather time delay, to trying to get the parts. So I thought we could look at one other option. I won't take this one apart because it's got the hat on it and it's a little more difficult. But let's drop one of these down. Let's take these two off. And I'll show you just a quick way to do this. One option you could do, so we have these two. We'll say this is, what is this one? A 2B and a 3A plus. And you notice the hole patterns line up. Okay, it's a standardized mount. So one thing you could do is by taking something like this, which is probably the best way to do it. And this is what I would do. It doesn't necessarily make it right. But yeah, it gives you a good idea. So let's start with 4 for the bottom. The other thing you're going to need is to ensure that they are for Raspberry Pi. You need the clearance hole in a Raspberry Pi is 2.75 millimeters. So you want 2.5 to give you a little bit of wiggle room and catch that up. Now, to make sure that we don't short out, how much standoff do we need right here? Is that going to give me enough? Yeah, that's going to give me enough clearance. It's all about clearance. So we're going to start, I'm guessing this is a 20 mil post and all my rulers are gone. Oops, as I pull it in there. That's a 20 mil post. These standoffs are the greatest thing in the world. I'm not a fan of nylon standoffs because they need a lot of work to get them assembled together. So I'm just going to rough this together. I'm not going to tighten anything up super tight. have plenty of clearance. The reason for the clearance is twofold. Number one, you don't want the next board. So you can see down here we have these USB pins sticking out, these shield pins. We don't want those to contact the other board at all, because you could create a dead short, or if there's a short to ground, you can actually cause that short to jump boards. The other reason now is if we do have a header pin installed of some form, right? Let's just say that this was hooked up already and I can't quite get it in there. There we go. By using the 20 mil, you still have clearance to run your cable out and not damage your cable. A little more difficult to get in there, but you get the point. If it's a permanent mount, that's a really good way to do that. Now I could just come in with another 3A plus off the top, or you could put a hat by adjusting the height of this. You could also do a hat mount. Do I have? Oh, I do have a hat. Where did it go? It's right here. So I could have all the clearance I need by using the right size standoff for the hat and add stability to the hat like we did here. So you could stack too high with the hat on top. So yeah, that's one way to do it. The other way would be mount this on a sheet of acrylic or something and come through the back side with the appropriate length, 2.5 millimeter, and mount that down flat. So that's one way to do it.